Have you ever had a moment in your life where you reacted far more intensely than you intended? A moment where you simply couldn't recognize yourself? Carl Jung discovered that we are not as unified as we think. Instead, our psyche contains what he called complexes, or splinter psyches, each possessing its own memory and will. We should recall Jung's famous warning: we do not have complexes. Complexes have us. Today on Shadow Atlas, we will explore these autonomous structures within the soul, how Jung proved their existence scientifically, and how they govern our lives from behind the scenes. Technically, a complex is a group of emotionally charged thoughts clustered together. Jung states that at the heart of every complex is a nuclear element. This core consists of two parts: temperament, an innate predisposition unique to the individual's character; experience, a lived event related to the environment. A complex has the power of constellating in proportion to its emotional intensity. Affect. Like a magnet, it pulls related memories and thoughts toward its own energy. When a complex is activated, the light of consciousness dims, leading to what Jung called an abaissement du niveau mental, a lowering of the mental level. In that moment, your will is sidelined, and the complex begins to pull your strings like a puppeteer. Jung wanted to prove these abstract concepts in a laboratory setting. The word association test, developed at the Zurich Psychiatric Clinic, was the history of psychology's first spiritual X-ray machine. The experiment was simple. Jung would say a stimulus word, and the patient had to respond with the first thing that came to mind. Meanwhile, Jung measured the reaction time with a stopwatch. If a patient answered one word in 1 second, but paused for 5 seconds at the word lake, it was no coincidence. Jung called these pauses complex indicators, prolonged reaction time. When a stimulus word hits a complex, the mind freezes, memory gaps. When asked later which answers they gave, patients often forget the words linked to their complexes. Physical symptoms. Jung sometimes combined this test with measurements of pulse, respiration, and skin resistance, galvanic skin response, recording the physical tremors of invisible complexes. Jung describes the case of a successful businessman who suffered from severe alcoholism. The association test revealed that behind his professional success and social mask, the persona, he was a child crushed under his mother's massive power complex. Jung identified the mother as a power devil. The man wasn't living his own life. He was working like a machine to satisfy his mother's ambitions, and he unconsciously sought refuge in alcohol to escape this heavy pressure. This case is concrete proof of how a complex, in this case, a mother complex, can possess a person and divert them from their unique path of individuation. But why was such a successful man so vulnerable? The answer lies in what Jung called our inferior function, our spiritual blind spot. Jung suggests we have 4 functions: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Usually, one is highly developed. This is our superior function. However, due to the law of balance, the exact opposite function, for example, feeling, remains underdeveloped and primitive in the unconscious. This is our Achilles heel. A brilliant, rational scientist, superior thinking, might suddenly fall into a childish rage or irrational sensitivity in personal relationships. Inferior, feeling. In that moment, a feeling complex has leapt from the shadows to seize the professor's throne. The person is no longer their own master. They are a puppet of the complex. The process of individuation is not just about polishing our strengths. It is about giving a right to life to that dark, inferior function. As Jung quoted the ancient alchemists, "Out of the third comes the fourth, and then the unity is made." We become whole only when we find and integrate that missing fourth piece, our weakest point. According to Jung, it is impossible to get rid of complexes entirely. They are natural parts of the soul. But when we recognize them through self-observation or tests, they lose their autonomous power. Knowing your own wounds is the only way to prevent a complex from driving you off a cliff. Are you ready to listen to those autonomous voices in your soul?